This episode of The Mimic's Veil is dedicated to our newest Patreon supporters, Mark, Eamon, Tyler, Sean and Reese.
Hey.
And on this episode, we speak exclusively in a non-spoilery chat about Astro Bot.
Just wonderful, isn't he? I mean, we've waited so long for this beautiful game, and in no way has it disappointed. It's special.
Yeah, I feel like you have waited longer than most, Alex. You've almost put a little prayer circle out every state of play for this up to it being announced.
I mean, obviously I was always hoping for the VR version, and it never ever came. Maybe now, who knows? You know, I mean, there's so much love for this little dude, even more than there was, and I feel like people have actually started to appreciate how good Astro's Playroom was in the first place, because a lot of people didn't even try Astro's Playroom, and you're like, why?
Yeah, I saw a lot of that in the run-up to this. People going, just realised I had this free game, so I've given it a go. It's really good. It's really weird. That's like I think that's the first game we all played on the PS2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's like you have to.
I sometimes turn that reinstall that game just to feel the haptics.
Yeah,
and
now you don't have to.
Well, that's true
because you got this.
You do. And you really appreciate them. You appreciate every single bit about the PlayStation hardware in this game, and it's just a shame. Yeah. It's almost a shame you don't get more of it. I mean, these guys are wizards at utilising every little bit of it, even to and it's that wonder of the different things you can do. So I was sitting playing it with my son yesterday, and it was like one of the bits where you had to blow into the microphone to move the platform forward, and I'm like, Lewis, just blow in there, and he blows, and he's like, and he's like so surprised, and you just see that genuine joy in his face.
Yeah,
so clever.
I think that's probably a good point. Is this is going to be completely spoiler free, right? We're not gonna, because it is those little moments of joy that make this make it what it is. So we're going to be completely spoiler free. So if you listen to this thinking they're going to ruin it, we're going to try not to. And even when Lewis inevitably does, I will edit it out.
Thanks.
Because that's how we do. We might, if we're that way inclined, we might tag a little spoilery chat onto the end after the outro music. But yeah, let's see how we get on. And while we're doing the housekeeping, we should also say thank you to Sony.
Yes.
For giving us review codes. That was an unexpected treat. So yeah. I think we have to.
I was nearly sarcastic there. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
No, they've definitely been our friends since we started up the VR podcast, and they were more than happy to help out with the Flat podcast as well. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So how much of this have we played? Where's everyone up to? Hours wise, level wise, etc., etc.
I think I'm only about maybe 5 hours in, and that's because I've been definitely taking my time with it. I've been playing it a lot with my son because he's been like, can we play Astro Bot? Can we play Astro Bot? Can we play Astro Bot? So I've been waiting for him to play it with me, and I think I've finished the end of the second world and done a few of the secret worlds without saying too much about them. Yeah. So yeah, so not too far in, but I kind of don't want to be. I want to take my time with this. I don't want to get through it and it be finished, and I already know it's going to be that special way that I don't want to get to the end.
It's that weird, you want to kind of just let every level wash over you, and it's almost like being in a theme park, isn't it? You don't want to just rush from different place to place. It's like you want to look around at the spectacle of it all. So I get that. What about you, Lewis?
Yeah, I did the second one yesterday, and I played the first level or so of the third area. So in around 5 hours as well.
Okay.
So around roughly the same playtime.
So I've played a bit more than that. I have rolled credits on it.
Ben?
Honestly, I don't believe you.
Okay. Well, I've put 12 hours into it, for context. Rolled credits. Okay. I've got 250 of the 300 bots you have to rescue. And I think I'm about 70% of the way through the trophies at the moment as well. So I have been, like, loving this. Like, really, like, taking my time with it, obviously, you know, made that significant progress with the finding all the bots and things like that. But to your point, Alex, I've enjoyed playing this with my kids. Like that's what the weekend was all about. Was just, yeah, we'd play that together. You know, the youngest would sort of watch, obviously, because he wouldn't be able to play it, but he was just loving it. And the older two were kind of like, yeah, let me have a go. No! That's but there was like little levels, like I'd work my way through a level, finish it, realise I'd missed one of the bots, and then I'd say, all right, you go that, try and find him, you know, and try and get that bot. And it was a really nice way to do kind of co-op and having like, it's the first game that has pulled them away from, you know, free to play live service shite for a very long time. Like there was still a little bit of Fortnite and Roblox this weekend, I can't lie, but it was mostly just, all right, can we play Astro Bot? And that's really cool.
That's a victory
really
in itself.
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
Yeah, God bless that little bot. But yeah, so I've got no doubt that I will get that platinum as well, because it doesn't feel like the game has ended for me. Like I don't feel like I've had my fill of it at all. I'm looking forward to going back in and having a look around, and just finding everything, every little secret, and everything you do find is just such a nice payoff as well, isn't it?
Yeah, as you mentioned the trophies. So I think this is one of the ones that I'll probably want to platinum. You know, I don't like or care that much. Astro's Playroom was the first game I did platinum because it just felt so not easy, but it was fun to do. It wasn't like, oh, you have to go over here and deliver a feather to this guy, like that kind of stuff. Everything had a nice payoff. You know, that came with a little smile, a little nudge, wink, wink kind of thing. That you're like, you know, and it's all the same with this.
Yeah, it's like it's baked into it rather than an afterthought, rather than, oh, how can we extend the life of this? It's like, no, well, part of the blueprint of a 3D platformer is a collectathon, right? So it makes sense that there would be a trophy associated with stuff like that. So, yeah, but to that point, we did have a question from Laurie, our dear listener and friend, and Alex's co-host on Crossbutton VR. He did say to this point, what's your method? 100% each level / world before moving on, or have an initial run through of every level before then returning to the start for missed bots, puzzle pieces, etc. I've kind of played. I've revealed my hand already. I was playing it as it comes. I wasn't kind of, you know, searching around every nook and cranny, and then I'd sit there and watch, like, as my son.
You boy, finish this.
You boy, fetch that bot for father. So that was my way of doing it. How about you guys?
I'm almost in between, so I'm not doing it. I'm not going through all the levels and going back, but I'm not finishing each level as I go. Like, hopefully I'm getting 100% as I'm going through the levels, because I'm taking my time going through the levels. I'm not rushing through the levels, but there's so many things that you can miss because they're either so well hidden or just it doesn't click in your head what you actually need to do, which a couple of things I've done earlier tonight. But I won't then wait till I'm at the end and I'll go back if maybe I want to just go on, but I don't want to progress any further just now, or it's maybe I'm not playing it with my son and I don't want him then go and see things that he's not seen. Then I'll go back in some of the levels and go through them then to find the bits that I've not done, so it's not quite going all the way through it and going back, but I can almost go a little bit of the way through it, and then if I've got a wee bit of time, I'll go back and go through them then.
I'm kind of the same. Like, I'm trying to pay attention to what's around me, and I feel like more so in maybe the second area, I don't know what you want to call it, I've felt that I'm sort of going slower through the levels and being like, being aware of what's behind me down the sides of whatever platforms. Whereas in the first area, I do just kind of hammering through and hoping that I'd find. And when you find a bot, you go. When you find the bot, you've got like first one, the first two. You're on the third. This bot's the fifth. Oh, I've missed a couple.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, if that happens, I'll try and get back and have a little look.
Yeah.
Not too strenuous.
If you can.
Yeah, if I can, I'll go back, have a little look. But I'm not spending too much time looking because I'm like, I'll come back eventually. And
Exactly. So yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm trying on that first run through, but I'm not like stressing out about it. Before it gets to that point, I'm like, okay, carry on. And one thing they do is a nice kind of quality of life thing is, well, there's a couple of things. So when you do go back into a level, you can pay 200 coins for this little robot bird to fly alongside you, and he'll point you out in the general direction of where stuff is hidden, whether it's a jigsaw piece or another bot.
I've not seen that yet.
And the other thing is,
sorry Ben, did you say that's if you go back into a level?
Yeah.
Okay,
so you don't see it at your first run through, but if you go back into a level, you see it. And the other good thing is, say like taking your example is, if you find the first bot but you miss the second one, then go back into it. If you find that second one, you can just quit out of that level. You don't have to finish the level for it to count, which is a really nice quality of life thing. But I do find a lot of times with platformers, it's like you have to play the whole level through, and it only counts if you get to the end flag or whatever. So
yeah, I've noticed that. Sorry, I've noticed that when I've died and say I've got like a puzzle piece, I've gone back to get the same puzzle piece, and it's been sort of not greyed out, but it's like a holographic version of the piece itself. Yeah. Because if you die, I don't think it saves your coins. I think if you die, you lose. You lose the coins.
It doesn't save your coins, but it does save your
the collectibles.
Yeah. It's nice.
I'm really scared that I'm going to spoil something. I'm going to say something wrong.
Well, don't, because we can easily edit it out. I'll make it all the time. That bit where you get to oh my god, I can't believe Mario's in this.
Yeah, because it is one of those. Didn't expect that little Mario bot. Because one of those that is you don't want to give away too much.
No,
like because it is. Even we've got that we've got our group. I've been trying to ignore the chat in that group,
same.
And also muted Astro Bot on Twitter because I didn't want to see any videos. I don't want to hear or read any chat. Alex,
sorry.
It's all right.
Alex, I didn't watch any of those videos you shared. That's all. Like, no, love the guy. Not fucking watching that.
Because it's like I like when I find things for the first time. Well, that's cool. I almost don't want to get someone else ready for it if it's going to be a surprise. And nothing like Alex, this isn't not nothing to do with those videos. No, but it's just I just like want just people to stumble across these things but I mean that might not because I never watched them either. There might not be nothing in those videos, but it's like I don't want even to see. Oh, look at that! It's a
suggestion of what might be to come. Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's a tree there, and there's like a little triangle at the bottom. I wish I hadn't seen that. That kind of stuff. Like but that's just me.
No, I think I did get a wee bit carried away to begin with, and it was just a wee bit caught up in the excitement. And because I got it a day early, I just thought I'd be a wee bit of a dick. But like, I did pull it back and make sure like I wasn't sharing anything that was like properly like someone like taking it away from someone or anything like that. So anything I was sharing was quite generic and kind of what you would expect rather than look really, at this secret bot or
And if sorry, and it was really early on stuff, and even then, if it's we all have the choice to watch a video or not.
Yeah.
It's just like Ben and I chose not to watch them. You know, that's the thing. If someone watches it and go, oh, I can't believe you shared that. Like, well, don't watch it. Like, just
you can just go.
You can just scroll past.
Yeah, this might be something that might be spoilery. Therefore, I'm not going to watch it. But it's weird it is odd to think about spoilers in terms of a game that story is pretty non-existent. It's weird to think, I don't want to spoil it, but it's so much built on that delight of surprising you and bringing joy at every single, like literally from the very opening to the end credits, it was just joy the whole way through, like grinning from ear to ear, right at the start, right at the end, in between on so many different levels. Maybe if we do a spoilery bit afterwards, we can touch on like our favourite levels and things like that. Might be good.
But even to your point there, like right from the start, and this isn't a spoiler, and if you think this is a spoiler, then I don't care. But like, it's
if you think this is a spoiler, you can fuck off.
It's the little things from the very, very beginning. Like you're starting a game and it wants you to pick your save slot, and the 3 save slots are PS1 memory cards. I think.
Yes.
It's just those tiny, tiny little things.
It makes it all. It makes it all like feel so tactile. I was listening to an interview with the game's director, and he was saying like he wanted it to feel like a toy when you're interacting with it, and it completely does. Right from that moment, Alex, that you said, till right at the end, it's all just you feel everything. Obviously, a massive part of that is the DualSense integration. Like, obviously, the way they did it with Astro's Playroom, I feel like they've just done it even more now. It's the best controller. I think it might be the best controller ever, because the stuff that it does, it's just like it becomes part of the game. It's not like just your route into the game. It is the game as well, and that's through the speaker, through the feedback, like the haptics that are so nuanced sometimes as well. It's not just like shake level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like little barely noticeable like tippy tapping on when you're walking on different surfaces. It changes. It's like this game is so fucking polished. Like,
yeah,
and we are
everything.
Yeah, we are of a generation that will remembers a time before any sort of rumble.
Yeah,
We then had rumble with like, and then the N64 with the rumble pack. I think you have to slap into the back of a controller, and that was just a thing that's spun round inside to this that has a life of its own almost, and adds so much to games.
I was playing earlier and I had all my lights on in my room, but I've now got like coloured spotlights to match the coloured backlights, and they're all connected together to the camera on the TV. So I was playing Astro Bot with all those lights on that was taking all the lights off the TV and the controller. I'm like, this is just like the best thing ever. And I'm shouting my husband up. I'm like, come on, come and see this. And he's just looking at me like with sheer disdain from the doorway. And I'm like, yeah. But it's just, yeah.
Putting the divorce papers, sliding the divorce papers over to you across the table.
Yeah, that's it. And see, when you talk about the controller, and this is, I haven't asked either of you this already, and I've meant to ask, like, have either of you played any of it on the Portal?
Yes. No, actually, no.
No.
Because I do wonder how it feels on the Portal, because obviously the Portal's supposed to have all these features of the DualSense, and I wonder how much it translates across to the small screen on the Portal. Because I know they did do a lot of promotions of Astro's Playroom when they were doing the Portal and the experience you got on there, but I just wonder how well this is going to translate on there. I've had no notion to try it on there for the reasons that you've been mentioning, but I do wonder.
Yeah, I'll report back on that, because I guess now I'm switching more into trophy hunting mode. I'll be more inclined to just chill out, sit back and play it like that. So yeah, I'll let you know. But I'd imagine, I can't think of anything that wouldn't translate to the Portal. But it's weird though. Like the fact that I normally am like handheld first, and I haven't even considered playing this handheld up until now. It's just because it's such a feast. Like, as you said, the controller itself, the look of it. You know, I mentioned polish there, but I don't think I can find I didn't notice any faults at all with this game. Like, literally nothing. For a brand new game to come out and just work.
Yeah.
Mad. Unheard of. Like, there's no settings. There's no, do you want it 60 frames? Do you want 30 frames? Do you want resolution mode? Like, none of that shit.
I didn't even think of that, but yeah. Oh.
Yeah. There's nothing. And I went into the options, had a look. Nothing. Watched Digital Foundry's review. In their playthrough, they had one single frame drop. Whole start to finish, yeah. And bearing in mind the amount of like particles and shit that's going on in some of these screens. Like when you're just wading through a pile of leaves or apples or acorns, whatever it might be, spinning around, and they're all flying off in different directions. It's like, it just runs so flawlessly.
Yeah. And there are times when there is a lot happening on screen and what you can interact with. I don't even know if even there I don't want to say anything because it's not a spoiler, but it's a nice wee surprise. Like, I'd just be really vague about it. A lot of stuff lying on the ground that you can hold square, do a little spin attack, and everything just kind of goes flying.
Yeah,
just
it's just
flies
really you mentioned earlier about it being so tactile, and that's it. It's like it's just such a nice thing to have and to feel that, to see this big sort of pile of just stuff that you can play around with.
Yeah, and it's that whole toy thing, isn't it? It's just this is just fun to control, and that's all the best platformers, be it 2D or 3D. That's like the fundamental is it's got to be fun to control, because sometimes that's what they used to be. That was what they were all about before people started caring about stories and things like that. That's what games were, right?
Yeah. But as well as being fun to control, I mean, it's also got a great sense of humour. It's like, it doesn't take itself seriously, and it shouldn't, but it cares about its subject matter in a way that it presents, like, the history of Sony. And not just Sony, I mean, there's so many other things that's not necessarily PlayStation, but you can associate them with PlayStation as you come across it. But then it's all the little moments that it puts in there, or the little, like, that's not really a spoiler, but like the kind of the photo opportunities that you get all the way kind of through it, and it's so much heart in the game. Like, it's I'm kind of gushing over it. That just makes you like not know what you want to say, but it deserves it.
Yeah, but like for a kind of blank slate of a character, there is so much personality that comes out, and like you said, Alex, the love for not only PlayStation's IPs, but a few third parties as well, but being able to take the piss out of them as well. There's a good few moments here that it's just having fun with those characters, and the fact that the owners of all of those IP have just gone along with it and just gone, that sounds lovely, like that'll be fun, do what you want, kind of thing, is it's really part of it. It does remind me, Phil too had a question though around the bots themselves. He said, as a percentage, how many special bots did you recognise, do you reckon?
I'd be lucky if it was 20.
Yeah, same.
Like, there's so many that, and I think it's that way. Obviously, it doesn't give you the names of them; it gives you a clue towards who they are.
Yeah, and I like that.
Give you a name of them. I like that as well, because it's just another little element of you wanting to go and find out who they are. So it's, but yeah, a very low percentage, I would say.
Yeah,
I'm glad, because we mentioned this before, like in the group. Because I'd said I don't really know like a big percentage of these characters, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, struggling with some of them." And I was like, I thought it was just me, like not having that much PlayStation knowledge up to like PS4, and not even then not playing many like PlayStation games on the PlayStation.
But there's stuff that only come out in Japan. There's stuff that's only from PSP games, and like really obscure and unexpected things. There's a few omissions as well, but I guess they might be added in after the fact. Like,
well, there is stuff to come. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I love that whole aspect of it, and just wondering, who's it going to be, and will I know who the fuck they are? And invariably, no, I don't. But it's still fun as well. And when you do stumble across one, it's like, yeah, really good.
But it's also then what it. Sorry, Ben. I was just going to say it's also then what it does with them. Like it's so you find these characters, but then they come into your world, and then it's still. And I don't. This is kind of expected in the game, so I'm not seeing this as a spoiler. But you have your gacha machine again. Like obviously you're collecting your coins to get your gachas out, and how that ties into the characters. And then if you find the right ones for the right characters, what then kind of proceeds to.
Yeah, and how they interact.
Like
it's basically an object from their game or something that's associated with them. That
you just connected a little piece in my head there, because you do, when you save your bots or whatever, they're around the sort of hub area.
Like
and you go up to some of them,
isn't it, basically?
Exactly,
yeah.
Just like that. You go up to some of them and they have a little, almost like a thought cloud with a... Yeah. That's the gacha thing. I never connected that up to this point.
That took me a while as well, but yeah, that's like, oh, okay, so you must have something missing that you can interact with.
Interesting. That's really cool.
Some of them it is. And when you just see them, obviously the more you fill out your world and the more stuff they've got to interact with, it just feels alive. And it's just fun to run around and like slapping some of them around and see how they react to it, things like that.
Yeah.
It's just it's just really good.
It's been one of those moments. It's been my favourite moment of the game so far. Like I'm not going to say what it is, but it's the little things that you don't expect to be the things that become your favourite moments of it.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. It sounds like we're all really, really positive on it, which is good. It seems to be the general consensus across the universe. Mm-hmm. One thing that was, again, that just going back to that interview I listened to, this was on the Friends Per Second podcast. The director was saying, so this basically took 3 years of development.
Which is astonishing.
It's crazy to get that level of polish and everything else, and even just to get all the contracts done in that space of time. But basically, he said the first year was they'd have like 2 week, like a meeting every 2 weeks where everyone just brought an idea to the table, and then they go off individually and bring it to life. Like you go, okay, well, I've got this gameplay mechanic, I'll go and make that. Oh, I've got this idea for a level or a character or whatever it might be. And then they'd reconvene, they'd play it all, and then they'd kind of, iterate on that during that first year. Almost like in complete silos, just working individually. So they felt like they had complete ownership of whatever they were making. Then they spent a year working together, building it, basically. This team of 60 people.
Quite small, yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole of the last year was basically that polish, which it seems like a super efficient way to make a game. Like, why doesn't everyone else do it like that? But I do think, getting back to the story point, and he said something like this as well, the fact that it's modular, the fact that you can basically just go create a level, okay, well, that didn't really work, bin it, do something else. They're not beholden to a story that like holds everything together. So I think that really helps. And I don't know, something probably for the industry at large to learn from, maybe. It seems like a really healthy way to make a game.
It's exactly as you say, though. It's only going to work for this type of game, like where you don't have a story like intertwined all the way through it, and where you can just have a level. Like it's something. If you look at something like Super Mario Wonder, like it could work for something like that because it's the same.
Yeah.
This type of game is perfect for that type of approach, but I think they've really nailed it here.
Yeah.
And
I think they had
I
think they had a similar ethos with Wonder. I remember when that came out, it was a lot of, we've basically just spent ages just polishing it. We've had just basically said there's no bad ideas, everyone come bring your ideas, and then we just polished the shit out of it. And I guess that's my only, not worry, because there's nothing to worry about. This is a great game across the board. But my only thing is, thinking back to Wonder, everyone was like really high on it initially, and like, oh, this is so inventive and joyful and amazing. And I feel like that cooled off after a couple of weeks to a month.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if this is going to be the same, or whether like the DLC or everything will keep it.
That's the thing. Like,
alive.
No, like, there's been no support for that game since it launched. There's not. Nintendo haven't come out to say, oh, stay tuned because we're going to have some extra like lost levels type stuff coming out for it. It's just, there's the game.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Yeah.
I
Be
mean,
grateful.
Are you ready for this DLC though? Because do you remember this part of Astro Bot? Like that first moment when those speed levels hit and we were going mental between each other. Not you guys, because I don't. You went.
No. We were
day one on the PS5, but no, you didn't have the PS5s. But
that's what it
meant.
Like
regardless,
just like when that DLC hits and we go for it, like there's going to be some amount of competition in this group to see who gets the top and who can beat Phil, because Phil's going to be the worst, and we need to make sure Phil doesn't win.
He needs to be brought down.
He does. But I don't think this will have. I don't think that is a worry for this, Ben. I think for me, a lot of where that came from, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, was the further you got through it, the more it repeated itself. And I don't feel like this is doing the same. I think there is enough variety to keep it different, and I'm not going for that. Like the way the Wonder worked was that it was almost a gimmick. Whereas I think Astro just does all these things, and it's maybe the same things he does in different levels, but it's all about the wonder of the level itself rather than the gimmick. So I think it's a better approach, in my opinion. Yeah,
it's I love that. I love the confidence of just being able to go, here's a really cool idea, never going to fucking use that again. Like, that is some balls to go, here's 5 minutes, play around with this, have the time of your life. No more.
Done.
You know, and a lot of the mechanics they do bring back in, but I think it's a testament to how good the gameplay is that I think I'd have just as much fun if this wasn't like PlayStation rammed down your throat constantly. Like it is that, but it's done in a way that is celebratory rather than it doesn't feel like it's trying to market to me, which would be gross. This just feels like this would be a banger of a game anyway without all of that, and that's just like the extra sprinkles on top of it, basically. Yeah. Whew. Heck of a game.
It's very good.
So we haven't actually scored it, obviously, but we've got another question from Phil 2 here.
Second
because obviously, second of his name. The question is there something that stops it from being a total 10 out of 10 for you? Like, if it's a 9.5, what is the 0.5? Like, is there anything that you would ding it for to stop it being a 10 out of 10?
I don't think so. Yeah. Like, and I'm not looking for something. I think that's probably a good point. Like, I'm not looking in any way for something to bring this down. But I wouldn't say there's been anything there that would do it. I think for me, this is as close to a 10 out of 10 as you're going to get.
Yeah, I don't think a 10 out of 10 exists.
I
also think
that. So you wouldn't be a 10 out of 10 because of Lewis.
I don't think it exists because I don't think they can, because there's always at least one little thing.
Yeah,
that would, if you did it out of 100,
that's Phil's question.
What's the noise?
But if you make it a 90, if you were make it like a 99 out of 100, it's still like, I don't know.
Is there any? I mean, it's okay if there isn't anything. Like, if you haven't come across anything yet in your 6 odd hours, that's pretty good.
The only criticism I can level at it, the rooms are too big, is it's not a Nintendo thing.
How's that criticism? Surely that's a good thing.
Because I would have liked it to be like the characters that I played opposed to PlayStation ones, but that's I That's just myself, but that's nothing to take away from how Astro is and the sort of love it shows towards the PlayStation side of things. I think it's great. But I have nothing that I could say to add to it.
No notes.
No notes.
Do you think you'd love it more though if it was inclusive of Nintendo stuff, like being that we grew up with Nintendo more than PlayStation? So that would push it beyond.
I don't think so. I think it's nice to have them their own little things.
It is. It does make you realise that PlayStation have got a history as well.
Yeah.
Like I always think of PlayStation like Man City or Chelsea.
Yes.
Like, these newcomers come along with their big money, think they can buy their way to success. But the fact is that I'm wrong on all three counts there now. Because Chelsea, Man City, and PlayStation have all got some history. But yeah, it's nice. It is nice to celebrate that. So, what I was thinking is, just to put that in context, Lewis, you mentioned Nintendo there, and you are an aficionado of the 3D platformer. It's
yes.
safe to say.
Some may say.
Some may say. So I thought what would be quite cool is just to list some other 3D platformers, and I want you to tell me if Astro Bot is better than these. Yeah?
Yes.
And you can both give your answers. We'll start easy. Astro Bot or Sonic Adventure?
I've never played it. So
Trust me, it's Astro Bot. Astro Bot or Super Mario Sunshine?
Astro Bot.
Similar mechanic. Like, I mean, you hold it
the whole
with the watch. Yeah.
The flood thing. What did you say, Alex?
Astro Bot. Yeah.
Astro Bot. Okay, Alex, this one's for you. Astro Bot or Psychonauts 2?
Astro Bot.
Okay. Back to you, Lewis. And obviously you can both answer. Astro Bot or Banjo Kazooie?
Astro Bot. You tried to play Banjo Kazooie recently?
Yep. Okay, now it gets a bit harder. Astro Bot or Mario 3D World?
It's a tricky one. So when we're getting to these types of games, I think only judging on the platforming and not all the added extras that are coming with Astro Bot.
No, just judge holistically. Like, is Astro Bot a better game than Super Mario 3D World? The whole package. There you go. Easy for Alex.
I can't look at it like that. I need to separate these things out.
You and your ways.
But because there's a lot in Astro Bot that's like that. How will I word this? Just like that extra bit of, love and care and attention towards history. It's a game that celebrates the life of PlayStation, which Super Mario World. What did you say? Super Mario
3D World.
3D World. That's the one. Which is an easy to remember game.
Great game.
It's just a Mario game. It doesn't have all that extra bump added in. But in saying that, Astro Bot. Okay. Thanks
for showing your workings. Astro Bot or Super Mario Galaxy?
Yeah. Super Mario Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your line?
Yep.
Mario Galaxy better than Astro Bot?
Yep. Okay.
Alex, have you played Galaxy?
A bit of it. I've never finished it.
Okay. So I think that says it all. Couple more. Astro Bot or Super Mario Odyssey?
Astro Bot.
Odyssey.
I think this is the closest one, really. But I would say Astro Bot as well. Yeah. Lewis, you're saying Odyssey. So you're saying Odyssey and Galaxy better than Astro Bot.
Yes.
And finally, Super Mario 64.
I knew it.
We know Ben's answer, so.
Sonic Adventure better than Mario 64. No, what would you say to that, Lewis?
I would say Astro Bot.
Hey! Victory! Oh, this last 40 minutes has been worth it.
He's taking Mario out in his first attempt.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, Alex, you're saying Astro Bot queen sweep? A queen sweep!
Queen sweep.
Yeah.
And
What you
Lewis,
got there, mister?
you would say, what, third best 3D platformer of all time?
Yeah, it's on the podium.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Behind Galaxy and Odyssey.
Yeah, it's close with Galaxy, to be honest. It's close. It's close
So
with Odyssey. No, in fact, I'm talking talking crap. It's close with Odyssey, sorry.
Okay.
I'd put Galaxy at the top.
Wow. Very good. Pretty cool.
Let's not get into that.
Let's not. So we had one or two
What about
other.
you?
Me? I think it is. Yeah, I think it's better than all of them. I think Odyssey is close. But I think pound for pound, I think Astro Bot is a better game. If you put a gun to my head, and some of this might be recency bias, and you said, right, you can either play Odyssey or Astro Bot, I think I'd pick Astro Bot. Yeah.
I think
easier to play. Sorry.
I think that was the kind of one thing I was going to say. It depends what you're after, because Astro Bot does not provide the level of challenge that some of the Mario games provide as you get further on. Like, there's no huge amount of challenge. Well, maybe I'm just saying that before we get further, because maybe it does get a bit more challenging. But
I mean, even in the first couple of stages, I've felt there's been a couple of stages that I've felt a bit like, this is like, I know what I'm supposed to do here. Why can't I action that?
Oh, well, actually, I take that back, because I completely just forgot about the triangle levels, and I've just remembered about the triangle levels. So,
exactly.
yeah.
There are little challenge levels that do make you go, oh, I'm dying a few times here, and that's good, because I think that would have been my only criticism, is this doesn't push back enough. Like, it is nice to feel like you're overcoming obstacles sometimes, and the fact that it's got those completely optional levels in there where you can do that, kind of like your traditional Mario challenge levels where you just go off and have to do some, extreme platforming for a little while. So I quite like that. But also on the point of like being easy to pick up and easy to control, it is literally what the cross button, the square button,
And the square button and the
R2,
triggers.
and that's it basically.
L2, R2, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, and the touchpad and the microphone and and the gyro controls and basically everything else. But in terms of buttons and general approach to it, it's just the two buttons and the two triggers.
And I think that just works really well, and just it makes it so much easier to pass the control if you're playing with someone who's less of a hardcore gamer. This makes it all the more fun. So I mean, I guess should we do our normal, our patented review?
Yeah. Shall we remind everybody what they are?
Please remind me.
Pure shite.
Yep.
Not quite. Just right. Dynamite.
I think we all know what this one is.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dynamite.
Of course.
Absolutely. No question whatsoever. It's going to be up there in those Game of the Year conversations, isn't
It's got to be. I don't see anything beating it.
No. And what do you think, just to put this like in a nutshell, because Reese did ask this as well, like the overall, he wanted to hear our thoughts on the overall improvement from Astro's Playroom. What would be like, how could you say that in a succinct way? Where has it taken things? Because everything's elevated in this game. But what is... Because Playroom is great, but what's better, I guess, is the question.
It's probably the structure of it. I mean, it's so much well structured, and it almost brings that little wonder to it. And as people were talking about a minute ago, but like the optional levels, and it's how you find them, and it's those little moments of wonder, I think, where it's really lifted it. I think Astro's Playroom is very much like, these are the things you can do, and we're going to introduce each of them in like its own little level, and you're going to keep going. Whereas this, you don't know what it's going to hit you with, and I think it's just better implemented. Like, for example, in the first one, you put on, like in Astro's Playroom, you put on that monkey suit to do the climbing and stuff, whereas when you get to the different things in that, they just do it in that very slightly different way, and it's a level of detail, I think, that's gone into it this time in terms of like the little things that you maybe grab onto, or the little things that you do, and then just the thought behind structuring the levels and the boss battles, and even the little things like in the boss battles where it gives you the extra lives, whereas it's always been one touch kills with Astro Bot, but just adding you the little bits around, well, this is a boss battle, we're not going to give you insta fail here, we're going to give you a little bit of grace, and just it's that level of detail for me that is really elevates it.
Yeah, well put. The boss battles are fucking amazing as well.
Yeah,
every one of them I've loved, and I don't normally like a boss battle, but these ones are so well done. Dynamite across the board, really good. Okay,
So
well, I think we
Dynamite is a 9.5.
the highest possible review score we can give. So let's have a little spoilery chat after the next segment. But I would definitely say to anyone who's thinking of getting Astro Bot and doesn't have it yet, definitely don't listen to that. So after the outro music finishes, switch off, because so much of this game is that surprise element and the delight, and I've been absolutely blown away moment to moment by that, so go for it. But until then, should we have a little break and play a little game that we call Guess the Outro Turbo? Are we ready?
Can we? Yes.
yeah,
Good.
Born ready.
Let me know when that turbo thing gets annoying, by the way. Like,
never.
Can you do it the other way around? Do guess the outro.
Bot.
Yeah. Do guess the outro using the button, and then click it
And
just
then
have a
turbo.
normal voice. Yeah.
All right, let's fucking try it then.
Guess the outro.
Turbo. How's that? Let us know, listeners, which way you prefer. We'll adjust on the fly. You know what to do. 10 questions. Try and guess the game that I am thinking of, and that game will be the outro music for this episode. 3 clues, 1 at the start, 1 in the middle, 1 at the end if you need it. Your first clue is: this game contains many, many, many items, including a tough nut, an invigorating nut, and a slippery nut.
Ooh, lots of nuts.
My.
Sounds tasty.
My. Go on, question 1. Is it an indie?
You want to ask it?
Is it an indie?
No.
No.
Now fuck off out of my pub.
You're bad.
I seem to recall this.
Oh, don't do this again. You had this fucking Rain Man moment last week. I don't want any more of that.
It's a tough nut to crack, but we're cracking them.
Come on, Lewis.
What was
Ruin the
it?
game
Tough
again.
nut? Hard nut?
Tough nut.
Salty nut.
Invigorating nut. And slippery
Invigorating.
nut.
That's the one. Invigorating nut.
I feel like I remember games where you kept picking up nuts.
Yeah.
Like Ratchet and Clank.
Imagine.
Nothing on my
can't-
face.
I can't remember.
Don't
I've
look
only
at my
played.
It's not an indie, so it is a bigger game.
Yeah. My thoughts immediately went to like Resident Evil, but that's not correct. Not right at all. I don't think.
There's not many. I do have total like visions of picking up nuts, but it's not in a game that you would think it would.
Tell us
be.
more about that, Alex.
Well, it was just a random Saturday night, but like, it's right. We need some more questions, Lewis.
Yeah, come on. Snappy.
Is it a game? What would you call them again? Is it like a? It's not a collect-a-thon style. What are they? The games where you just walk about picking stuff up, like Banjo-Kazooie. That kind of, I forget how you would describe them. Collect-a-thon style. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's like a collectathon type game.
Just while you two are thinking about that, I have a small correction. Obrut is backwards of Turbo. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
But I'd hate for all the listeners to email us in with that.
I don't think it would sound like that.
No, but
Brew.
that's how it's spelled, isn't it? Obrut. Obrut. Yeah. Anyway, question 2. Come on.
Yeah, is it a fuck? What is it a game where you specifically there's loads of stuff for you to pick up? You go around. Oh, there's a feather over there. I'll go and get that jigsaw piece. Then I'll go and find a Jinty. What were they called? I can't remember the little creature things. Like in Banjo-Kazooie. Like, is that one of those types of games?
So on the episode where we celebrate Astro Bot, you're asking me, is it one of them shite 3D platformers? Is that right?
I wouldn't say 3D platformer.
No.
But it kind of is. Like, that's your whole
Yeah, I
Donkey
guess
Kong,
so.
like your, like all that, your Super Lucky's Tale, your Banjo-Kazooie. Is it that type of game?
No.
I'm also thinking, is it like Final Fantasy? One of those games where...
Oh, aye, it would be one of those shiny like, JRPGs.
Oh.
Shite.
Oh.
Always
Could
in a
it
moment.
be? There's been a moment. Ben, is it an RPG?
Yes. It is an RPG.
Ben, is it in 2D HD?
Come
what
on.
it's called?
Oh, it is!
Yeah, I know what it is. I think
Oh, HD 2D.
HD 2D, that's one. Alex, I think it's Octopath Traveler.
Well, ask.
Ben, is the game
Yes.
Octopath Traveler? Yes!
It is! Well done.
I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row. Lewis has been good at
2
this.
weeks
What's
in a-
going on?
This is so weird.
I know. I'm a bit taken aback here.
Yeah.
I think it's the whole turbo
Foul
thing.
play. Yeah, he's just something's activated in him.
Thanks
He's
to
coming
Liquid
alive.
Death.
Why he's still drinking that from last week? Incredible. Incredible stuff. Yeah, Octopath Traveler. Well done. Your guess,
Knew it.
your clue after that would have been it spawned a mobile spin-off and a direct sequel.
I wouldn't have got the mobile spin-off.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember
Champions
Jamie
of
Penn
Continent.
talking about that.
Exactly,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Jamie. Big Octopath fan. And then your last clue, Lewis, you alluded to this anyway, introduced an art style that many mistakenly call an engine. So there we go. It's,
Dragon Quest
Made
2D
an
HD engine.
yeah, Unreal Engine 4 with the patented HD 2D art style, which
HD 2D.
is getting a bit overdone, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
In my opinion. But yeah, a game that I never finished, Octopath Traveler. Note it down, Phil. Just too long and a bit too grindy. Some of those battles take a bit too long for me.
Yeah, it was a heptapath,
That would have been great.
hexapath, pentapath.
Yeah. Quadrupath.
Path?
Path Traveler. Sounds great. Yeah. But no, a cool game, cool concept. And I
Tripath
think
Traveler. Tripath Traveler works perfectly.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
does.
pretty good.
It's another one of those shitty name, decent game scenarios.
Yeah, terrible name. But it's just weird how Project Octopath Traveler just stuck. And then
Project
oh, what do we-
Triangle Strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went through a period
Madness.
of just shocking names.
Triangle
Absolutely.
Traveler. That's where they should have went.
Does sound better. But yeah, and to be honest, the soundtrack is really good. So I was quite enjoyed listening through that and picking out what song to use. 'Cause you can take your pick from all of them. Really good. But the one we are going to use is by Yasunori Nishiki. I love trying to pronounce these Japanese names at this time.
You never picture them, Ben.
No, never. And it is called Sunshade City of Pleasures. Ooh. Back to the slippery nut from the beginning. Yeah, really good song. I think you'll like it. But yeah, enjoy this one from Octopath Traveler. With Laurie's king of spoilers, his question. What was it here? He said, favorite level you've played so far? I'm a big fan of the cheese one so far. Also, the massive tree one for its music. Do we all know what he's talking about when he says the cheese one?
I assume it's the one that's the mouse.
Yeah. Are we whispering?
No.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean,
so
it is literally a block of cheese as you go to into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
It is this. I think this was the first one where my joy from the initial few levels turned to like, oh my God. Like, this is fucking cool. That whole shifting perspective. I have no idea how they do it like that.
And it's instantaneously. I think how instantaneous it is. It just like goes. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect each time you transform.
Yeah.
Like you're like. And it's even they add a little bit. It's like you crawl under a sheet or crawl into a bed and you knock it all off. And you're like, it's just pure magic. It is. Like that level, that was the one where I'm like, and I remember, I think I messaged in the chat. I was like, "Has anyone done this?" Like, there's like, I just put the little cheese symbol because you're not wanting to give anything away, but you're just like, "Oh, this is magic, absolute magic."
Oh my God, yeah. I just couldn't wrap my head. It reminded me of the obviously Titanfall 2. That I think someone said something similar, but that level. I think it was Reese that said this. That level where you. In Titanfall 2, where you basically go back and forth in time and the level changes when you reverse back in time. It's been in other games as well, but like it's that when I first played that, I was like, wow, this is amazing. But this is all that shit they were talking about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, about, oh, you can go through these portals and the world changes instantly. That didn't have, I was like,
yeah, same.
What, am I supposed to be impressed by this? This.
That was like the whole game, to be fair.
But this was like, oh my God. How am I normal size, press R2, I'm tiny, everything around me is massive. Oh, just brilliant.
Very good.
Brilliant.
But I mean, and this is not a spoiler, and it's just because you mentioned it, and it's something I was thinking, and I was like, everyone's always said, oh, Insomniac makes such polished games, and Insomniac do this, and then you look at Ratchet and Clank, and you look at this, and Team SOB have just went, it's up to you, this is how you make a good game. And you're like, it's...
That's another thing. Like I always moan about Insomniac games and their menus within menus within menus for not a lot of return, I would say. And look at this, like you mentioned before, there's next to fuck all in terms of things you need to change. Nothing you need to change. It's just how you want to play the game is how it is given to you.
Yeah. I mean, even in that terms of it, the customization and stuff, like as you think in Insomniac game and how you go and me and Lewis, we're both about the same level, so me kind of saying like once you start to be able to customize your glider and your stuff and the way they do that and implementing like little paint cans and then just watching the paint fall down over the top of it and it completely change. And like even then, Lewis was running around just doing that, and I think I only had 3 paint cans unlocked at the time, but he's going and hitting each one and watching the colours change. And it's just, they're so clever at everything that they've done with it. And then you know the way they've set out the world and the different puzzles and how those puzzles are then unlocking the different features that you're getting. So you know, as you collect those puzzle pieces, you're like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be. You're like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be, and what are they going to add on next? And it's those little tidbits of almost like teasing you to say there's more to come, and you're just like, what's it going to be? And you know, some of it's the stuff that you know, like you know, at one point you're going to get the gacha thing. Like obviously that's the first one that comes, and it's just
but even that, even the gacha machine, I'm obsessed with doing them. About popping those. Oh, it's brilliant.
See why they're a money maker. Yeah,
you can. Yeah, just like I'll just do one more, and then I think no, I need to save 200 for the little bird in case I need it for the next level. But like, I just want to do more.
Yeah. Well, I've not done any because like that's like Lewis. I've done none of them. I've kept every single coin for Lewis to do because he loves doing that. So I'm like, right.
So you're a good.
And I let him, and he sits and he does that, and it's just like the joy that. But I can alluded to this in the episodes. And like my favourite moment so far has been nothing to do with levels. It's been to do with one of the characters, and it's like when you find what's his name, the guy from, is it just like Katamari King or something like? He's actually like. Yeah. But see that point when you then find the thing out. Katamari Prince or Royal something anyway. But when you find the ball in the gacha machine and then you hit him and he starts rolling the ball, but he rolls over Astro and Astro sticks to the ball.
Oh, really?
And it's like so like when I shared that video, and I didn't appreciate when we'd done it, it actually captured like me killing myself laughing and Lewis laughing beside me when I captured the video. So it had taken the audio and into the controller. It's just such a nice moment to like hear that back, and it's like I was killing myself more than Lewis was, to be fair, but he now wants to see that every time. That's his thing. He wants to go and do that and just get Astro stuck to the ball, and you're just like, oh, so clever. Also gives you a trophy for doing that as well, to be fair.
Oh, does it?
More importantly,
we've done it once, we've got the trophy. No more.
Like, it was that added extra of a trophy popping up, and it did it. But
that's a nice touch. Talking of nice touches, the other thing, again, I kind of alluded to this, but so you've all done the first PlayStation themed level, right? After
Escape one.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking of a different one.
You've done
that's the kind of end level at the first world, is Ape Escape.
Oh, is it? Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, second world's the one that you might be thinking of.
Have you done that one?
I have, yeah.
Have you done the? You must have done that one as well.
God of War
themed one. Yeah, the God of War one. Okay, good. Yeah.
But just try to
is that the last?
Don't want to spoil it for each other.
Is that the last one you've done, Alex?
In terms of because I haven't started anything on the Snake World, so I haven't done anything on that.
Right.
I've done the next one then, because I think when I was the first area, the planets, the solar system, whatever you want to call it, I wasn't including that on the sort of way around. So I've done the one after as well that I finished last night, actually. So I'll.
It's not like me to be the furthest behind.
No, very unlike you.
I'm genuinely shocked that Ben's finished it.
I'm not. It's Ben.
I am.
See?
I am.
Alex gets me. The
child, complete this game for me.
You want to eat dinner tonight? Those themed levels are like the fact they come along after you beat the boss. It's like your reward for beating the boss of that world, and they're so well done. And that God of War one, the bit where you have to squeeze through a crack.
Oh yeah,
yes,
in the wall, and I'm like, yes, fucking nailed them.
But it was like because I criticised that so much, so it just made me smile and laugh so much when you had to go do that. I'm like, look, it doesn't even need to load. You're just through, and it's there, and all the stuff's there that you need.
It's brilliant. And there's another bit. So I was playing it with my son, and there's a bit where the big tortoise or turtle that's got the tree on its back normally in God of War.
In Thingy's house. Something.
Yeah. And you have to like flip it over in the level. And Corey's like, are we just gonna leave it? He's gonna die. We're just gonna leave him on his back like that. And I was like, it'll be fine. Like, just brushed it off. But then when you go back to the world, like the hub world, the crash site, in like the ice area there's a turtle laying on its back, like basically the same turtle that you can get all your Pikmin to come and flip over again and put him back on his feet.
Spoilers.
It's a hub world. I think you can.
I've not been to that world yet. Not unlocked that bit.
Okay.
Ben said it would be me.
Well, this is the spoiler section.
You're not supposed to be spoiling it for each other.
No. But yeah, I don't think that's anything that anyone would like pay any attention to anyway. I was just more because Corey reacted to it, and then I saw another turtle back there, and I was like, okay.
You were like, we shall leave it.
We shall leave it to perish. We shall scoop out its entrails for dinner.
Yeah, Ben, why have you got 299 bots, not 300? No comment.
Fuck them turtles. Another one we did, a question we got that we didn't answer on the main show because I didn't know what way it would go. Smark said, if you had your own Astro Bot, what would you call it? Great question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Does he say what he would call his?
Does he? Fuck, he's got nothing to offer, has he? He's just... Yeah.
Got as
And
much
he's
as
never
me.
going to listen to this either. So, I would call mine Astro Bot.
Oh,
Me too.
you can't.
Oh, well, I will, because it is short for astronomical bottom.
Is it really?
Yeah. And I won't reveal why, but that's what I call my own private bot.
Okay.
So there we go. What me and that bot do, it's none of your business. Okay.
Well, if you two, I'll then also call mine Astro Bot, but I'll give him a middle name of Turf.
Brilliant. There we go. There's your answer, Mark. Phil also asked a sensible question as well. Do you think Sony should/will pounce on Astrobot's popularity and move into other genres of games, e.g. Astrobot Kart or Astrobot Golf?
Nah.
No?
It's too good for that.
He's pretty marketable though. Like they've needed
Done it.
a family-friendly mascot for a long time.
Done it before with PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale or whatever it was called. Like, didn't really.
If I was big bad boss of Sony, I would be milking.
Shut it down. Yeah.
Shut it down. I'd be milking it. But I'd be very tempted to milk Astrobot. Even you mentioned the spray paint designs of the DualSense that they have in the game. Bring them out. They all look amazing.
Yeah.
Sell them. Every individual Astrobot. Give me the Kratos one. Give me the Katamari one. Like, let me collect them.
Or just
for
give me an
£5 each.
Astrobot that I can like.
All that, yeah.
Proper one,
But like,
yeah.
imagine like an Nendoroid of every single of the 160 whatever they've got in there at the moment.
You've got to assume that that's been a conversation.
It must have, and it shows an enormous amount of restraint that they haven't done it yet. When they've just released their like 30th anniversary, fucking shitty little board game thing that they made to celebrate.
It's not the shitty little board games, it's the fucking pricing attached to them. It was like 14 magnetic blocks for £80 or something. And you're like, fuck off. Fuck right off.
How many did you order?
No. Even I showed restraint for that, although I did like the shapes of play or whatever that are called. What's the one that's like the little battle ones? It's the black and white, like noughts and crosses type one. I'm tempted by that, but even at 45 quid, that's like
Still crazy. Anything else on Astrobot? Anything that you've been itching to talk about over the last couple of days but haven't been able to?
I think so. I mean, I think there's so much of it's magical, but it's not like, I need to sit here and like say, I wouldn't say it's full of those moments. You're like, oh my god, I need to talk about that, because maybe it's because I've not got far enough into the game that those particular ones, like the first time
we
you
don't
get to
know
one of
who
those,
half the people are.
yeah. But it's like the Ape Escape bit was just so funny, like going and trying to catch all those monkeys, and but that God of War level was something else. Like all the little bits to it, like when the world serpent comes up, and like how you find all the different characters, and you knew who most of the characters were there, and even like when you find what's it called?
Mimir?
The head. Mimir.
Yeah.
And it's just a head, and you're like, well, It's just it's just.
See, but I've only...
That's my thing. I know before I finish it, I'm going to want more, and I just wondered exactly what they do have planned for the longer term of this. And I know we're getting the speed run levels, and we're getting another couple of worlds or whatever it is they've kind of said. But I mean, longer term, this works because of how they've done it. But I suppose, to your point, Ben, if it didn't have all the PlayStation stuff in it, where do they take it, and how do they take it to make this a beast that continues to grow? Like, that's my concern. I don't want this to be a one-off.
Yeah, they've nailed it.
That's why I was separating that out when I was judging on platforming earlier. Still a good platformer though. But even that God of War stuff, I knew Kratos, and the head, just known as the head, and then there's just a load of others.
Thor.
I've only played a wee bit of God of War, and I've never played Ragnarok.
Ragnarok's great.
I assumed
I didn't really like God of War, but Ragnarok is great.
Yeah, it is. Great games. I think that's it then. Should we wrap it up there?
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll probably have another one of these at some point when we've all finished it.
So.
Yeah. And I'm sure it will come up again
just
at the end of the year. Game of the year season. I think it's going to be... It's going to be there, isn't it? There or
yeah, I think so. Has to be.
I mean, what's going to beat it?